Ladies and gentlemen, shall we start? Everyone has taken a seat. On behalf of the Society for International Development, the Institute of Social Studies and World Population Foundation, I would like to say welcome to all of you. It's good to see you here. I am not Sylvia Borra, as some of you might have noticed. My name is Dianda Veldman. I'm the Managing Director of World Population Foundation. I'm just here for 2 minutes to give a small introduction because Sylvia, unfortunately, is running late. She missed a train or something like that. She expects to be here around 5:45. So the nice and long introduction Sylvia would have done for you, you have to miss, or maybe it'll come later, but I can tell you some practical things, and maybe I'll need my glasses. This is the 4th lecture in a series on population. Today's topic is about gender. The Cairo agenda will be a main part of the subject today. We have 2 speakers, Mrs. Mari Simone and Mrs. Wendy Wendy, should I say Harcourt or Harcourt? Okay, okay. So probably originally French, but it's okay, okay. Maybe you explain that later on. But maybe Sylvia is back in time to introduce Wendy, and otherwise I will do that. Mrs. Mari Simonen works for UNFPA, the United Nations Population Fund, which is of course very important in the field of gender and population. Currently, she's Deputy Executive Director for External Relations, United Nations Affairs and Management. Mari has a long career at UNFPA. She started in her first position as an evaluation officer. Afterwards, she worked in various capacities, including as the Chief of the Office of the Executive Director. In 1999, she became the Director of UNFPA's Technical Support Division. And right now, she's the Deputy Executive Director. Mari has devoted her career to international population and development issues, to sexual and reproductive health, to gender equality. So today's topic is her specialty. Mari originally is from Finland, but I learned from her CV that it's long ago that she lived there. You've lived in Switzerland also, and for a long time you're based in the United States now. Mari holds a doctorate degree from the University of California, Berkeley, in international development education and public health, and she has a master's degree from Stanford University. Mari will talk around 30 or 40 minutes to you, and afterwards I will introduce Wendy. Thank you very much. And Mari, the floor is yours.
Okay, is this on? Yes, you can hear me. Okay, very good. Well, good afternoon to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends and many good colleagues. And thank you for this very kind introduction, nonetheless. And I must say that I'm really happy to be here. It's always a pleasure for us from UNFPA to be in the Netherlands. The Netherlands is a big supporter of our institution, UNFPA, and a big leader, big supporter of the ICPD program of action about which we will discuss this afternoon. So very good to be here today. And obviously, I also want to say the obvious, the 3 institutions that have partnered together in this lecture series, you are providing a lot of really important support for international development issues and also the issues that we discussed today. And it's my privilege to be here with Wendy. I know Wendy for many years, but don't always have a chance to share the platform with her, so that's a great pleasure. And of course, I think we have to start by saying how important it is that this lecture series has been organized. You know, it's the 15 years of implementation of the Cairo conference, and it's a 20-year action plan. So it's very, you know, high time that we also look at the vision that was formulated in Cairo, what has been achieved, and what we still need to do. And I would also say that today, you know, we are sort of very much bothered with many crises. We are confronted with economic problems here and our home countries and all over the world. We have obviously an environmental challenge. We have nutrition and food crises and many other crises. So the issues of development cooperation, working with public money in support of important issues overseas, perhaps is more challenged today than ever before. So it's very timely to have a public discussion and think about these issues together and how they are relevant for our lives, but also for everything else that happens in the world. And I also really applaud your focus on the global demographic transition issues that you've looked at already and you will focus on in some of the other lectures. The issues of young people. We have a biggest group of young people in the world today, over 1 billion young people. We have a challenge of aging populations in many societies. We have migration issues, urbanization issues, and all of these have implications personally, but also for the way societies function. So clearly these are very unprecedented trends, important trends in societies, and they require discussion not only in academic circles, but really by everybody. And maybe before I start, I want to just mention this Dutch Advisory Council on International Affairs, which has recently come out with a report on these issues. And it has really concluded that demographic changes are together with climate change, it says. So demographic changes and climate change are among the greatest challenges facing the 21st century. And that's a big statement, So the council was of the opinion that more attention should be given nationally, so that's here or in any country, and internationally to the linkages that exist between demographic change and economic growth and sustainable development and all these other issues, including peace and security and migration and really essentially human dignity at the end of the day. So very timely, our discussion, and in my lecture I will really argue that we continue to need a strengthened commitment to the implementation of the Cairo program of action, and that means to women's health and rights, and that this is not an issue of charity, it's not a side issue, it's really center in what we do in terms of ensuring a better future for ourselves and for everybody else. And it's a responsibility that we all share, in fact. So I will argue that the struggle for women's rights and gender equality is the heart of the struggle for human rights in general and the global progress in all aspects of our societies. So let's first look a little bit at the, what I call the legacy of Cairo. You know, what was agreed in Cairo, and then I'll focus on gender, and then I'll also go over a little bit the vision of Cairo in terms of sexual and reproductive health and rights. So it's important to state from the start that in Cairo, it was agreed by, and there were like 179 countries, basically the world was represented, that there, what was agreed there, it was influenced by actually the participation of women and women's groups. So the participation of women and women's groups was very important in the preparations of the Cairo and also in the Cairo conference outcome itself. And they really brought for the first time a gender perspective in